Hey guys, so we're going to be doing another video today. So it's going to be a really good sort of visual mod for the Freelander as well. It's something that's sort of quite useful as well. So let's go on and do it. Yeah, so this is what we're going to be doing today. So it's from MCG Performance Composites. They gave me a really good price on this. So you know, it's to help me get a video out for you guys so you can learn how to do it. I've seen quite a few people comment on a few of the groups I'm in asking how to install them, so I sort of went to them and asked if they wanted a video made up for it. So this is what we got. So we've got a visor and we've got a bonnet guard. The visor's obviously going to go at the top of the window. It's going to be sort of over the top, similar to where I've got the sun strip now. And then these brackets are going to come in on the side. It's going to sit up, it's going to hold it up off the window a little bit. So that's the first bit. The next bit's going to be the bonnet guard. This literally just sits at the front of the bonnet guard and you've got 4 screws that we're going to do at the front. So for this, I want to keep it as simple for you guys as possible. So it's going to be a nice straightforward installation. On this and on all of these, mostly I'm just going to use self-tapping screws. I've got black self-tapping screws, so they shouldn't stand out once they're on there. And then if need be, I've got some washers as well, just to take up the head, just to make sure it's not big enough for the holes. But other than that, let's crack on and make up to get these installed. Right, so the next bit's going to be getting, well, first bit's going to be getting the bonnet guard on. It does come with a sort of protective coating around it, so it's just getting that off. Just looks like window trim almost. Okay, so that's it off, and really just going to marry it up. It just sort of fits nice and flush on there. You want to make sure it's nice and level all the way around, not sort of sticking out anywhere. And you've got these 4 holes. So we're going to mark those up with pencil once it's on, and then we're going to drill tiny little pilot holes and then go in with the self-tapping screws. So first part is just going to be marking up with the pencil where the holes are. So that's the 4 holes done. So make sure it nicely lines up on the bottom here. The groove here matches the bonnet groove, comes right down and then matches on the bottom here as well, and doesn't show any bodywork. So nicely lined up, so let's get it on. One hole. Is that mark there? Okay, so that's the 4 holes done. So we've got the 4 holes here, here and here. Next part is going to be getting the bonnet guard on and just screwing it on in. Right, so just going to screw them in now. It's just using these little self-tapping screws. Pick these up from Halfords, they're pretty cheap. I've just put one in just a little bit just to make sure that they do go in properly, and they do. Looks quite neat. I haven't gone all the way in yet, so I'm going to do the other 3. Get them all in nice and tight, make sure all lined up how I like it, and then go in all the way. So yeah, let's do the next one. Okay, so that's all of them in pretty loose, just enough to hold it in place. I'm happy with the placement. There. Might adjust it slightly, but other than that, going to get them tightened up, and we're done on the bonnet guard. Okay, so that's the bonnet guard on. Like I say, it was just those 4 screws. We ended up using one of the other screws that was in the pack. It's a silver one. Bit of a shame, but we drilled the hole a little bit bigger on that one. So I had to use a slightly bigger self-tapper. I didn't have a black one, so I used a silver. I'm just going to paint over them in black, and it should be pretty disguised. What I'm probably going to do is going to do the same on the visor. We're probably actually going to use all of these silver ones because they're a little bit bigger, a little bit chunkier. And I'm thinking with that visor, there's going to be a lot of wind hitting that. I want it to be as secure as possible. So because these are a bit thicker and a bit sort of harder wearing, probably makes sense to use them up top. Most of them are going to be hidden on the pillar anyway, but we'll just go over and paint them after. But bonnet guard on, pretty easy. it was just those 4 screws. It was just making sure you lined it up with the bottom here and lined it up with the bottom here. That was my initial first mistake, because I put that one on, and then this side it was about, you know, half a centimetre up. So it was just kind of manoeuvring it about a little bit until it fits on there nice and snug. And then if I come over this way, you can see it on there. Really, really smart. Probably one of the easiest things I've ever installed on this thing. It's literally just 4 screws and just measuring it up. So yeah, let's get on with the visor and get that done. Okay, so we're just going to crack on with the visor now. So the first 2 bits are these blocks. These are sort of the mounting brackets, if you will, for this. You'll see one side slightly raised compared to the other bit. That's the bit that's going to go on the bottom. So this one now I know is that going to be that side, this one's going to be this side. You want to fit them on a nice straight surface. You don't want to bring it too far up into any of this curved area. You want to sit nice and flush on this sort of straight area. And we're going to measure it up in a moment, roughly how far down it is, etc. And then go from there, drill in, and we're going to probably put 2 or 3 holes along here for the screws to go into. Once we've done that, we can then measure up. Once they're both on and fixed, we can then put the visor onto it and measure out where we're going to put the holes on it. So yeah, first step, going to be getting these ones on. Okay, so the plan we come up then, we were just sort of ironing them up and moving them around. Because we've got this nice little lip here, we're going to drill the 3 holes into this first, then put it up onto the window, mark up where those 3 holes are onto the bodywork. We can then drill into the bodywork. They should then go straight on there. We know the holes are going to line up, and then we're going to just screw straight on through. Luckily I've got the window tint on mine, so I'm going up about 1 centimetre and a bit from the bottom of the window tint. What I'll do is I'll measure from here down to about here, and then that gives you a rough idea of what it's going to be when you fit yours. I think it's just worth noting as well that the quality of these is much higher than what I've seen with a lot of other kits out there. Obviously I know these guys have given them to me at a really good price, so I can't really complain, but yeah, you can tell by the sound of it, they are absolutely rock solid. You know, sort of almost half a centimetre thick, just fiberglass. Same as this, same as the bonnet guard. There is real weight to these. You know, I've seen so many cheap plastic ones that you can almost see through them where they're so thin. So I'm really glad when I got these and actually opened it up that they are actually proper guards. They're not just bits of plastic. So I think it's just something worth noting with these guys is, you know, that quality seems to be there. You know, it's all the reason I do these things to this car is because I want to get all the quality stuff on there that I can and really make the most of a Freelander. So yeah, just what I thought I'd make a note of is, you know, plastic, you know, I'm just throwing on the car for the fun of it. These are genuinely functional, they are going to protect it, so this will stop any stone chips coming up. The bonnet, well the visor obviously will be a sun visor, which is useful. I'm also hoping if I'm going through brush, etc., it's just going to keep it up off the window, and it is going to be genuinely strong enough for that. So yeah, really appreciate that and really like that quality on there. So yeah, it's worth looking into this. Okay, so what we've done, come a bit closer, you can see on the camera, just put 3 little holes straight through those. Idea being, I get one for this side. Once we put these on here, we can see where we're going to go. We draw straight through with a pencil, draw those holes, these can go straight on over the top. So yeah, let's crack on and get them on.
I need to get myself some decent HSS drawers. I've never had a decent set.
Hardened stainless steel. Okay, so this is the first one that's on. So we've got it up on there. Like I say, it's a bit up off of there, like we wanted it to be. And I measured from the top down to about there, and you're looking at about 20.5 centimetres from top of this window to the bottom here. If you don't have a sun strip, the same size as mine. So roughly 20.5 down to the bottom of here, and then work up from there. We've got the 3 screws in there. There's a bit of a gap on this side because it doesn't go in at that angle. So you've got a slight gap under here, but I'm going to paint them up black and probably fill that in with some kind of silicone or something and just sort of hide it a little bit. But they're in there, absolutely solid. That ain't going to go anywhere. So that's the first one in, so just going to be fitting the second one. Okay, so that's the next side on now. It's got this on a little bit more flush actually, so the screws are a bit more level. I think that's just sort of practice compared to last time. Again, painting them up black, you wouldn't even see them. But that's both of them on, so you can see one over that side, one over this side. Next part is going to be getting the visor on, lining it up with where we need it to be, drilling the hole straight through this, and getting it mounted on there. So let's crack on and get it on there and see what it looks like.
Those are perfect.
Those are perfect. Okay, so that's the visor on, and I love that. I must admit, I really like that. Took a bit of playing around, so when you putting these ones in here, you want to make sure it sits down nice and level on the two sort of prongs here. So it's just sort of undoing one, doing up the other, and doing up the other one again, and kind of just going back and forward on those until it's sat down nice and flush. And it is sat down nice and flush now. It is on there, solid as a rock, so that is not going anywhere at all. Really, really smart and solid on there. Absolutely love it. Okay, so now for the piece de la resistance of this. You've got the nice little MCG Performance Composites stickers. Going to whack them on there, and then the job is done. But yeah, not as bad as I was expecting really. I was hoping to try and do it as simply as possible. I didn't want to make it too technical, because you know this is an instruction video for other people to do this and sort of gives you confidence to do it. So like I say, 4 screws on the bonnet, just really making sure you're lining it up properly, make sure you're getting the, you know, around the same underneath these bits on your lights, underneath here, make sure it's sit level, little things like that. And then when putting these on, it's just making sure they're level on both sides. And when you're putting this on, you know, what I had is I start the front, my parents start the front, so we just kind of slid it sort of left and right a little bit just to make sure it's nice and central. I think we got a pretty spot on. I did do a quick measurement with a tape measure as well. Had sort of an inch and a quarter, you know, bit on either side. And then again, just making sure as you're screwing down these 2 bits here, just making sure it's sort of bedding down nicely on here, so that it really is solid on there. So that isn't going to go anywhere at all. But yeah, huge thank you to MCG who did this with me. So they gave me a really good price on this so I could get this video out for you guys. So huge thank you to them. Amazing quality. Like I say, it's almost hard. It's almost harder than the bodywork. So yeah, really impressed with that. Really like them on that. I mean, that visor up there to me is wonderful. I think that looks incredible on this thing. So yeah, huge thank you to them. Hope you guys like this video. I know it's probably a bit of a sort of wishy-washy one, just kind of sort of making up as I go along, really just seeing how we fit it and what was the best way to do it, and we decided on those self-tapping screws. You could use bolts, you could use riv nuts, so you could drill into those bits, put a riv nut in there, set the riv nut and put a bolt through it, for example. That could be another idea, but I didn't want to do riv nuts again anytime soon. So yeah, a couple of different ideas there, but yeah, hope you like it.